On today's show, we look into our new principal and how he is changing the culture of our school in more than one way. We also look into one organization that is taking their performance out of the arena. And finally, we take a look at one athlete that has had to battle back from a major injury to earn their starting role back. These stories and more in this edition of Hilltop News. What's rockin' Rock Nation, and welcome back to another episode of Hilltop News. Live from Studio 1060, I'm Taylor Bedford.
And I'm Ashley Salloway.
We have a great show in store for y'all today, but first, Ashley is going to catch you up on everything going on around the Hill. Ashley?
Thank you, Taylor. Now, as you can see here at HTN, we are wearing our plaid pajama set for Family Christmas Card Dress-Up Day because we are entering the second week of the 12 days of holiday cheer. As for the rest of the week, tomorrow is Walking in a Winter Wonderland, so wear white. Wednesday is Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, so wear your school merch. Thursday is Who Stole Christmas, so wear green. And on Friday, it is the Clash of the Carolers, where freshmen are elves, sophomores are snowmen, juniors are Santa, seniors are reindeers, and the staff are Christmas trees. This past week and over the next 2 weeks, choir continues to stay one of the busiest programs on campus. This past Tuesday, they had their third round of all-state auditions, in which 12 students were able to compete, 5 of which got through to the next round. This next week alone, they have many events happening, starting with their annual concert taking place here at Rock Hill on Tuesday. Then on Thursday, you can catch the JV choirs performing at North Park Mall in Dallas. Finally, the Blue Note Choir will be busy all week long performing their concert on Tuesday, then heading over to Children's Health Stadium on Wednesday to perform for senior citizens. After that, they have a performance at City Hall on Thursday and will end off their week with the Winter Extravaganza Pep Rally.
That there might be some time where we're off season like some sports are, but we're really not because we've always got something we're preparing for. The reason why choir is always busy is because we've always got a big combined concert that we're working towards, but even between there's all these opportunities for our students to individually be doing things and advancing personally and representing our school. We've got students that are getting ready for the region choir auditions, all-state auditions. Solo contest will actually start up in January for our solo festival in February, and then by the time that's all going to be done, we're going to have students that are going to be auditioning for universities, for programs, and for choirs at Walnut Grove and at Rock Hill next year.
Now, there are many events going on. Here's a quick preview of everything going on around the Hill this week. Now, right before Thanksgiving break, Prosper ISD announced groundbreaking news, promoting former Assistant Principal Terry Mouton to fill in for Dustin Toth as our principal. Connor Fuxa looks into this new promotion and the impact it has on the student body.
The change of a principal is always going to shift the culture in the school. But for Mouton, he is changing the culture in more ways than one, being the first African-American high school principal in Prosper ISD history. That's a huge honor to be the first African-American principal here in Prosper ISD, high school principal. It's just showing that my community can lead here as well, and show that those that are students there's other things that they can aspire to, going forward. There's a lot of things they can do in the future. So. Now, while this is a big step forward for both Mouton and the district, this decision wasn't for either of them. This decision was to make sure the best person was in charge for our students.
One of the things that we all know is that, number one, kids need to have people that they love and they have relationships and connections with. But beyond that, kids also need to have leaders in positions that look like them. Research shows that, and so it makes a difference, and there's a higher level of commitment all the way.
I like to see how I do have teachers and APs and counselors that look like me, and I can relate to them, because at any certain time or at any point, I can run to any of them and let them know any of my issues that maybe, another AP or a principal or something else might not understand.
Now, while what he is doing for the African American students at our school is amazing, this isn't the reason he was chosen. Mouton has proven to be both great with students and an amazing leader, both qualities needed to represent and lead an entire school.
Mr. Mouton is really a great guy, and I really relate to him a lot. Our conversations, and we giggle and everything. He's a really great person, and he's really funny. I just hope that everybody likes him as much as I do.
Mouton is just getting started as principal, and while there may not be a big difference this semester, you can be sure to see a change start to happen next semester when he fully steps into that role. For Hilltop News, I'm Connor Fuxa.
Now, while Mouton has become the new principal, Toth and Mouton will still both be at the graduation ceremony in May.
Now shifting gears to the local and national level. This past week in Wise County, sadly, 7-year-old Athena Strand disappeared from her home's driveway. It was found out later that FedEx driver Tanner Lynn Horner had taken Athena and killed her near her home. As of right now, her cause of death is unknown. Horner is being held in Wise County Jail on capital murder and aggravated kidnapping charges. His bond was set at $1.5 million. In other news, recently in Hawaii, the world's largest volcano, Mauna Loa, erupted. The summit of the volcano is 13,680 feet above sea level, but the base is at seafloor. From there to summit, it is 30,085 feet tall, which is taller than Mount Everest. Thankfully, there isn't too much risk for Hawaiian residents at the moment.
Bringing it back to the DFW area, the Plano campus of the Crestwood Baptist Church puts on an annual production of The Gift of Christmas. They describe it as a multimedia event with special effects, a nearly 1,000-member cast and choir, live orchestra, and flying angels. I was able to take a look into this North Texas holiday tradition. The Gift of Christmas production by the Crestwood Baptist Church has been highly anticipated even before opening night, with footage of their rehearsals going viral on TikTok. The special effects in this production take it to the next level, setting it apart from a typical holiday show.
It's not too often you get to be in shows where there's like camels and fireworks indoors, and you get to rappel from the ceiling, and you just get a lot of different cool opportunities, and it's just really cool being in front of a live audience. It makes it way better.
Even with the intensity and high standards of this production, the cast of the show are still able to have fun interacting and learning from each other.
It's a really fun dynamic because I've never been in a show like this before, and so some people next to me have been in shows their whole lives, and so it's really fun to learn from them and have them kind of laugh at me for being bad.
This production dates back to over 25 years ago, with around 70,000 people attending every year. The production wouldn't be possible without over 1,000 people on stage and behind the scenes representing those in the audience.
It definitely takes a lot of work to incorporate all the parts, but you know, the show wouldn't be what it is without all of the generations and all the people in it. So it's really beautiful when we all come together.
The production highlights the traditional celebrations of the holidays and then transitions to a live nativity to highlight the true meaning of Christmas. For Hilltop News, I'm Taylor Beckley. The Gift of Christmas and Live Nativity will be showing their final shows from December 7th through 11th at the Prestonwood Plano campus. After years of performing at pep rallies, the Elite Hawk Step team is going to their first regional competition, which is happening this upcoming Saturday. Veronica Volchek has the story.
With each chant, each clap, and most importantly, each step, the Elite Hawks team is stepping up to take their skills from the arena floor all the way to the Who Runs the Yard high school stepping competition.
When we're in pep rally, we're the only team of our kind. We're going into a competition and everyone has that same drive, that same motivation, and everybody wants to be the best, everybody wants to be the top. So we did a lot of physical training.
Although putting in efforts to excel at competition, attending this event means much more to the team than just winning.
This will actually be a first for Prosper ISD, first for Rock Hill High School to actually showcase what we've been doing for this past year. So we're very excited, win or lose, because this will be a great experience for the girls as well as great exposure for Prosper ISD.
I think this competition could help us become more part of the stepping community, because we can eventually or potentially get invited to other things where we can step with those people, just different events, not just competitions, but I think just meeting these different people at the competitions would help us get known other places other than Prosper, and we can step together with them.
Although already crossing barriers by just being at our school, the Elite Hawks are hoping that their involvement and success can influence and grow the stepping community on a regional scale.
Rock Hill is one of the only schools in this area that has a step team, and then maybe if we can go to competition and create a a name for Rock Hill in regards to step, then what it does is it makes other schools that are in the area believe that they can do it too.
With the success that their season has to come, there is no doubt that the Elite Hawks will be making some noise and leaving their footprint on the community. For Hilltop News, I'm Veronica Volchak.
To support the Elite Hawks, they'll be performing at 2:30 at Garland High School. Tickets to the event are $15 and can be purchased on eventbrite.com. With boys and girls basketball continuing pre-district play and with wrestling continuing their strong start to the season with another good meet, Brandon McVeigh is in studio to catch you up on everything Rock Hill sports. Brandon?
Thank you, Taylor. Last week, getting a win against Lebanon Trail with a final score of 116 for 10 and 10.3 overs for Lebanon Trail and 117 for 5 and 10.3 overs for Rock Hill. Big performances from Abhishek Shakula with 30 runs and Bahava Huda with 19 runs. Bahaz Sahamadrullah also had a big day, leading the team with 18 runs and 3 wickets. Now moving on to wrestling. We saw boys and girls have another busy week with Brooke Weiswork and Audrey Walker placing second, Lillian Jukes and Faith Boyd placing fourth, Hayden Stein, Maddie Givens, and Habi Abugun and Elena Jukes placing fifth, Zakia Berkey placing sixth, which put the girls in first overall. Now moving on to boys, Isaac Gibbs and Mason Marble placed third, Asher James placed fourth, and his brother Noah James placed fifth, placing the boys in the top 10. Now moving on to basketball, boys played in another tournament this past week and even got to see a district preview that we'll see in January. They started off the tournament with a tough loss to Denton, 64-59. But they were able to rebound, beating Leadership Prep 52-43, and also beating Northside 73-54. And then moving on to Saturday morning, they would drop a game to Louisville with the final score of 65-58. Later that day, they would go on to face district rival in Little Elm. This game did not affect district records though, as we saw Little Elm get off to a strong start, leading at half 33-24. They would retain this momentum, going up 7 points in the fourth. The final score was 79-50 in favor of Little Elm, who we will see again January 6th. Girls basketball only had one game this past week on Tuesday against Frisco Centennial. They got a strong win by a final score of 52-40. Their next game is tomorrow night at home versus a strong Mansfield Legacy team at 6:30. Now speaking of girls basketball, the road to recovery for injured athletes can be one of the hardest battles they ever face. Bronwyn Leiber looked into one process that one girls basketball player had to endure to get back on the court, coming back after missing an entire season.
Being a part of sports, they have become just another normalcy. For junior point guard Alicia Brooks, she found this out the hard way when she had to miss her entire sophomore season after suffering a torn ACL and 2 meniscus tears in the first game of last year's season.
I heard the pop. It was pretty loud. I tried to get back up. Didn't work out. Stayed on the floor waiting for the trainer. I was like, dang, I know I messed something up really bad. This is not good. I couldn't bend my knee. I couldn't straighten it. And it was just bad thoughts just completely running through my head.
From that day on, Alicia started a long 9-month road to recovery from weekly PT to being sidelined in basketball. This injury took a toll on her both physically and mentally.
Mentally, I was like, dang, I wish I could come back. I want to come back. I want to come back. I want to be on this court. I want to play. I want to play. And with that all being in my head, it just made me work harder in PT and be stronger, get faster and stuff.
Even though she couldn't get on the floor and drill, she was still there, being vocal with her teammates, helping them along the way. It was more so keeping, her mental, like, all right, you got to keep waiting your time, but whenever that time comes, you'll be ready. Keeping her in shape as much as I could, that way whenever that time did come, that she was ready to just jump right back in.
Now, while missing an entire season is detrimental to any athlete, for Brooks it ruined her chance to become a varsity starter for all 4 years. Brooks was special from the start, making it to varsity her freshman year. However, this injury set her back an entire year, missing her whole sophomore season. Though she lost a year, this injury did not set her back at all when it comes to her skills.
She has skills. The IQ is there, so I can imagine, having that same skill set as a freshman. For the last Coach Shaw to see that in her, and for me to just continue that confidence builder, helping her keep developing and get to that next level, what she wants to do.
Any minutes this year is a plus, coming off such a major injury, but Brooks is still fighting this season to cement her name back up amongst the starting lineup. For Hilltop News, I'm Bronwyn Leiber.
Alicia will be back in the starting lineup tomorrow night at home as the girls take on Mansfield Legacy as their second to last game before districts. Well, that's all for today's show. I'm Brandon McVeigh.
I'm Ashley Salloway.
And I'm Taylor Bedford. Keep rocking, Blue Hawks.